In this module, we've been looking at alternatives to the standard normative or positivist approach to theorising and accounting. In my past presentation, I considered critical accounting theory. And in this presentation, we're going to look at another form of theorising which isn't as well known, doesn't have such a big following, but I believe it has the potential for offering us a lot of interesting insights into accounting into the future. It's called Poststructuralism. So let's have a look at that now. So this is an alternative to critical accounting theory. If you read the accounting literature, there's an annoying habit of simply bundling anything that doesn't appear mainstream, normative or positivist theory into a basket, and they call it critical research. Well, we saw in the last presentation that there is a definite critical accounting theory. It's very specific. And you'll recognise it because it talks of people who are privileged, people who are oppressed, and it's very interested in identifying people as victims. There's a whole range of other approaches out there that also are not mainstream, but they're definitely not critical accounting approaches. There are forms of interpretivist, constructivist, there are ethnographic forms of research, and there's also one that I have a particular liking for, and that's poststructuralism. And it's based on literary theory. And it considers how people bring their own self in the search for meaning and truth in structures. And bear in mind that everything about accounting and economics are structured. It's a structuralist discipline. Now, because post-structuralism comes from literary theory, I thought I'd share this definition from a well-known literary theorist, Naomi Wolf. And you can tell straight away that this kind of theorising comes from a whole different place from accounting. She says it's a form of literary criticism that uses elaborate wordplay to prove its central premise, that all language is internally contradictory and has no fixed meaning. And what this means for me and for post-structuralism in accounting is that we don't find meaning, and if you have meaning, then you have truth, in the structure. So we don't look at a financial statement and find truth and meaning within there. We're not interested in what the author of that statement intended. We believe, as post-structuralists, that we find truth and meaning in how we come to that structure, how we approach the financial statement. Okay, so accounting itself is a very structuralist discipline. Everything we do is around structures. We have the accounting standards, the conceptual framework. Even your education is highly structured. We have policies and pronouncements. We observe the law and so on. And we believe that truth and meaning are within those structures. So if you recall here in your accounting education, each unit within your degree is highly structured. And if you can't work out the meaning of something, then you go back to the textbook, you go back to the slides. You've got to find the meaning there somewhere. And if you can't work out what the meaning is, then you didn't interpret well enough, and so you need to go back and do it again. The structuralist is like the X-Files. We believe the truth is out there, you've just got to discover it. Now, post-structuralists don't want to knock down the structures. Post-structuralists believe that structures are important. You need that. Post-structuralists are not radicals. They're not people who want to burn down existing pillars of society and so on. But we do believe that the search for truth and meaning is not there in the structure. It's what we bring to it. So I guess they're more interested in the intersection between the person and the thing that we're reading. And this applies to accounting through our use of accounting information. The financial report, the accounting statements, the accounting standards, and so on. One example might be how we come to understand the concept of profit. Now, a structuralist would say, well, a profit is there in the income statement. It has to be in a particular place. Because it's in that place, that's your profit. The profit is what it says it is because it's very, it was put there through an objective process, an objective structure. We haven't got people trying to manipulate it. That's the profit. It's profit because it's there. And so post-structuralist says, actually, that's all nice and good, but actually, that thing you call profit, that's just a mathematical construct. A post-structuralist tends to believe that everything we think about profit is a whole lot of baggage that is associated with the word. And we know that some investors think profit is a proxy for the health of the firm. So a high profit figure says, this is a great firm, we need to buy more shares. But we also know that it's something that can be manipulated. So we need to analyse it more. And therefore you find that financial analysts, they're respectful of the structures of a financial report, but they don't really care what people intended that profit to be. They go and they bring their own education, their own techniques to it, and they make their own decision. So post-structuralist research in accounting is relatively recent. A good example, if you're interested in this, is the works of Norman McIntosh, who is always a good read in this. Unlike the critical perspective, post-structuralism doesn't seek to change society. It's not interested in looking for victims, but it does want us to change the ways we learn and come to understanding the very nature of accounting. So in that way, it is very radical. And post-structuralists tend to see accounting as language. You've heard it's almost a throwaway line, accounting is the language of business. Well, post-structuralists take that very seriously and they say, well, yes, it is language. And as language, we need to understand how we come to it and how we understand it. So that's a very quick tour. I hope you found that very interesting. And that's the end of our presentations for this unit. So I hope you've enjoyed them and all the best for the future. Bye for now.